As much as gonorrhea does not have the same death toll as HIV, 2,300 people succumb to this condition annually, and 78 million people contracted this disease in 2012, according to the World Health Organization. Some gonorrhea misconceptions are: gonorrhea can be obtained once in a lifetime, that gonorrhea can also be spread from a toilet seat, and that gonorrhea causes infertility. This STI is also known as CLAP. If you have time to Google facts and misconceptions about gonorrhea, you realize that there is a lot of information on the internet. Some has been fact-checked, the other not yet. But for today, we focus on an online post by @CMT. In this tweet, she claims that she became infertile after her boyfriend infected her with gonorrhea. So the question is it possible for one to become infertile from gonorrhea?
Yes, it is actually true. Gonorrhea can lead to infertility in both men and women. Because when you get this infection, it can ascend and reach into your fallopian tubes, or the generally called oviducts. So, of course, the tube is the communication between the ovaries of a woman and the uterus. Now, what passes there is the sperm. Now, if that infection reaches there, in women, it does not produce a lot of symptoms. So by the time they realize that they have an infection, it may be too late. Yeah. Or the body can actually fight off the infection and you get what we call a chronic infection. A chronic infection, you have sequelae, you have consequences of the infection, yeah, but you don't have those symptoms. And when they do a test, they might actually find that you have the infection, but you have no symptoms. However, you have already had the sequelae, and the sequelae is basically the tubes getting blocked, and that's basically infertility. And then in men, it has no major issues because the symptoms, the onset of symptoms in men is quick and obvious, and there they go and seek medical care.
Yes, gonorrhea can spread through the uterus and fallopian tubes. This will lead to the scarring of the tubes, hence infertility. On to the next misconception, that one can obtain gonorrhea from a toilet seat. But how true is this statement?
It's not true 100%. Those microorganisms are not like fungus. Fungus are the ones we find in the toilets and the bathrooms. But the gonococcal microorganisms usually want our system. They keep live in your body. They thrive in the system of a human being. They're not like E. coli. E. coli, that is where E. coli affects mostly the urinary tract system. For it is got from the toilets and directly goes into the urinary tract system and damages it.
This is misleading. You can't entirely contract gonorrhea from a toilet seat. Another misconception is that you can avoid contracting gonorrhea by having oral or anal sex.
So that's not true. Actually, gonorrhea affects the genital tract. Genital tract, I'm meaning in females, vagina, cervix, uterus, tube, and tubes, including outside the tubes. It affects the urinary system, the urethral bladder. In men, because these systems have an interlink, so urethra, testicles, bladder. Now, men who have sex with men, they also have a gonorrhea infection in the anus and rectum. Anal sex is the other part that it leads you to an infection in the mouth, in the throat, causing you pharyngitis.
You will contract gonorrhea from these modes of sexual intercourse. I am not bluffing. You will. Gonorrhea should be treated as soon as possible. Always wear a condom to avoid gonorrhea and other sexually transmitted diseases. Have one sexual partner to reduce your sexual network and risks involved. Always go for regular gonorrhea screening, and to avoid reinfection, make sure you abstain from sex until you and your partner have completed your treatment. Thank you so much for watching this episode. In case you have some claims that you would want us to fact check for you, send them through our debunk board number, which is 0771 222 159, or through our social media platforms at The Debunk Show. I'm Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. Stay verified.